Bixby's recovered a fumble at the 45. Play action fake, guns one. It is caught. Touchdown, Spartans. The middle, he's got a hit of steam. He's into the end zone. Touchdown, Bixby. Rolls to his right to pressure as he throws. It's picked off. Interception. It's over. Bixby is the state champion in 6A Division II in Oklahoma.
Welcome into the Bixby Spartan Football Coaches Show, which is sponsored by Roush Coleman Homes, improving quality of life one home at a time. Well, what a week. Start off the season with a win against a team that Bixby had not beaten in 40 years. The opening game against the Jenks Trojans. Lauren, outstanding start to the season. Non-district play, just like last year. You've got kind of, not to say a murderer's row, but you've got difficult teams each and every week. And it sets the tone for the season. So how pleased were you, just no matter who it was, getting the season opening win?
Well, number one is starting the season off with a win is a great confidence booster for our football team, and then couple that with being the Jenks Trojans, who we had not beaten in 40 years. That's a big deal, and Jenks, as usual, is a very good football team, well coached, play extremely hard, good players, and so very pleased with the outcome of that. We felt like after last year's game, we let one get away from us, and so I think all the kids were anxious to get back out there and take another whack at it after last year. So got off to a good start, and proud of our guys. Answered a few of our question marks, still have a few that we have to answer.
Yeah, and I heard a college coach the other day mention the opening weekend, you just don't know until you get out there. You don't know what you've got. You find out pretty quick, don't you?
Yeah, no, and I think I heard Tom Herman in his post-game conference the other day talking about it. He just has, you have no idea. You know, you see the guys in practice and scrimmages, but when the big lights come on and you're on that big stage, it's a different deal. And we like playing difficult teams to start our season off. You mentioned Murderers Row, but we feel like that primes us when we're playing these good teams that are so well coached as we get on down the stretch of our schedule and into the playoffs. We've played the best competition, and so we feel like our guys are going to be prepared.
I think it goes without saying where your program is at this point with the state championships, the back-to-back-to-back, and where this program is. And last year probably should have had that game on the road at Jenks, but you're there competing at the highest level against the best teams. And we know what had happened the first week with Jenks in their season opener, but this is still Jenks. They still this is a team that's one of the top teams in 6A1. So a pretty good measuring stick all the way around, isn't it, right out of the gate?
Yeah, I think so. You know, Jenks, obviously, they graduated 4 or 5 Division I kids off last year's team. Got a lot of guys back, a lot of starters, but maybe missing that 1 or 2 Division I skill guy that they typically have that you have to account for wherever they're at. I know their running back's been out the last 2 weeks. They get him back, but no, I would anticipate Jenks finding a little time for them to get their stride, but they'll get their stride just like they always do as they head into the playoffs. But yeah, you have a very good team, and when you watch the film here in just a little bit, you'll see a lot of dudes playing extremely hard and an offensive and defensive line that is just super physical.
All right, we have that coming up. Obviously, the highlights. We'll get to the first and second half highlights. We got our youth team of the week coming up. We got our player of the week coming up. But also, getting ready for these big games. It takes great practices, good reps for everybody. Let's talk about our practice players of the week. This is sponsored by Raising Cane's.
Well, 2 guys, 2 upperclassmen this week that gave us a great look. Our first practice player of the week, Cordell Tyler. He's a wide receiver and plays as a starter on Friday nights and plays for us. But he emulated Jenks' talented wide receiver, DJ Wagner, and had an orange shirt on scout team for us all week this week, and did a great job. Gave us a great look and allowed our defense to feel the speed of the game that they're going to see on Friday. And then we also want to mention TJ Stone. TJ's a junior tight end that's a big physical kid that moved in last year from Olive, Oklahoma, that didn't even have football when he moved in. They've got it now. But TJ's a guy that's bought into our program and does every single thing we ask him to do and contributes each day in practice and contributes on special teams and those things. So we're so proud of TJ and Cordell for the work that they've done getting us ready for the game on Friday.
All right, those are Raising Cane's practice players of the week. Big week, big win, and now another big-sized team coming in from a large classification in Bentonville. The Bentonville Tigers We'll all have that coming up. First half highlights from the game against Jenks coming up next. The Bixby Football Coaches Show is brought to you by Roush Coleman Homes, improving quality of life, one home at a time. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love for the game. Midwest Sporting Goods puts a Midwest best on you. Now in orthodontics. Live life smiling. Hot Coffee Design. Find us at hotcoffeedesign.com. Green Country Mitsubishi. We dare you to compare. Country Financial. Even the biggest goals start with simple steps. Advanced Plastics. Building partnerships through willingness, versatility, and knowledge. Communication Federal Credit Union. Connecting with you. Car Country by Nelson, where you will be treated like a superstar. Western Sun Federal Credit Union. Billings Construction Group. Our service is unequaled. And by TTCU, the credit union.
For most buyers nowadays, energy efficiency is one of the top things on their list. At Roush Coleman, it's a top priority for us, and our customers are able to live in one of the most energy efficient new homes built. As a result of that, you're going to see that those utility bills are less than anything else you're going to see with a used home or an apartment that you live in.
Welcome back to the Bixby Spartan Coaches Show, sponsored by Roush Coleman Homes. And we're about to get into the first half. Jenks Trojans coming in. Huge night, Military Appreciation Night. And once again, I know we've talked about this over and over again, but you guys do an incredible job with that.
Yeah, I tell you what, Whitney Allen, she does such a good job organizing it. My grandpa, he's a WW2 veteran, 90 years old. He was up there. Savastanos provides a meal for all the veterans, and then I saw a video of the fighter jets flying over during the national anthem. I mean, I think everybody is just so impressed at the game atmosphere here on Friday nights, and that's one of the special things about Bixby.
There's a lot of hype going into the game, a lot of excitement. Let's take a look at the first half highlights.
Yeah, Jenks comes out and we deferred, and so they elected to take the football and come back running the one-back power, and you'll see Ryan Kerr, first-time starter at his linebacker position right here, and Jenks dropping back to pass, and their quarterback doing what he does, scrambling, and Kobe showing off that he's about 15 pounds lighter, chasing him down, making the tackle right there. Ethan Hall right here from his outside linebacker position does a great job making a tackle for a loss, stretching everything, allowing the troops to rally in on the sprint out pass play right here. We're doing a good job up front, getting pressure, and you'll see us. I believe that's Big Trevor Gavin, one of our defensive linemen, in on that, and we bowed our necks and held them to a field goal on that first drive, and so a win for our defense, gave up one big play. And then defense back out there, and you'll see Brennan Presley coming up from his corner position on the flat route, doing a great job, and you'll see Kobe Tillman right there from his linebacker position showing up on the one-back power. Trying to run inside, and D-line is question mark coming into the game, but Isaiah Lakin, Josh Owens, Trevor Gavin, all those guys doing a great job. Ethan Hall getting some pressure right there, allowing Kobe Tillman to rally, getting some good work in right there. Jenks probably could have gotten a little late hit right there. Brennan Presley jumping the route right there, causes the ball to deflect in the air, and Colin Farley for their first turnover of the game. So we'll take over right here, putting together a little bit of drive. Staten King doing a good job scrambling, showing off his wheels. Staten has an interesting dynamic. He runs the ball very well. Right here, coming back to the outside zone play, out off the right edge, Tucker Pauley in direct snap action. Then we come back, we throw a wide receiver screen out here to Zach Riddle. Zach doing a good job getting vertical on the bubble screen, making a guy miss, getting us down into scoring range. Then we come back in our jumbo personnel right here and pound the rock in behind Kobe Tillman and Bryce Bray. Tucker gets his first touchdown of the evening. Do a good job right here. That D-line just bubbling everything up, stretching it. I see big Zeke Upshaw in there, a guy we recruited out of the basketball gym. Basketball player turned defensive lineman. Still a very good basketball player for our team. We run a good stunt right here in the middle, and that's Talon Javersack from his nose guard position, trying to hone in and find those defensive linemen. I believe that's Bryce Hendricks right there, causing another fumble, and we get another big turnover right there. And then and then we're able to get great field position coming back through. Throw a quick wide bubble screen. I believe that's Zach Riddle again. The new gray jerseys, they look great, but it's hard to tell those numbers right here from the video. Then we come back and we throw the orbit screen right here to Brennan Presley, and Brennan showing you his great speed and quickness right there. He had a big night for opening night, just a sophomore, 15 years old, and we throw the quick wide screen there. Then we come back and Jenks trying to run the ball inside the tackles. Ethan Hall, Kobe Tillman, Ryan Kerr all in on the tackles right there. Getting some good pressure right there in the backfield, causing everything to bubble up, and just defense swarming, defense rallying right there. Ethan Hall on the sack. Ethan had 2.5 sacks on the evening. Just a super productive night from his outside linebacker position. We come back right here. We throw a quick wide screen. That's Clayton Barber right there. Clayton showing that he's very shifty. From his H wide receiver position, Staten King scrambling right here, finds Brennan Presley on the post route over the middle of the field, catch him in some cover too, and Brennan doing what he does, getting wide open, making a wonderful catch. So we take it in at halftime mark, up 14-3, but quite honestly, I kind of felt like we had left quite a few points out on the field, and so we had some things that we had to fix, and hoping to come out in the second half and look a little better.
Well, the second half is what we've got coming up next here on the Bixby Spartan Coaches Show.
I've been a proud patient of Dr. Ryan Nallens for the past 5 years with my kids. He really only treats when it's time and he's ready. We came back later and he put braces on my son, who just got them off last week. His teeth look amazing.
Now in orthodontics, we're different. I think the first thing you notice when you walk in the door is going to be an energy and enthusiasm and of a team that really loves what we do, and we like to have fun every day.
On game day, football players aren't the only ones suiting up. Our crew's ready for any play.
Yeah, can I get 1 box? Extra sauce and toast. Hydrated Idaho, Idaho. Tailgate to go.
So that's a box combo with extra cane sauce, Texas toast, fresh squeezed lemonade with crinkle cut fries, and a 25-finger tailgate.
Nailed it!
Football's just part of who we are. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Well, at halftime, the Bixby Spartans with a 14-3 lead. Welcome back to the Bixby Spartan Coaches Show. Looking back at the game against the Jenks Trojans to open up at Lee Snyder Field against the team that well, you guys traditionally open up against. What are you thinking about there at halftime? You mentioned as you went to break, felt like you left some points out there on the table.
Yeah, it didn't feel like we were running the football really well, and we still had some things on our playlist that we hadn't quite gotten to, not a ton of snaps in the first half, and so looking to come out in the second half and run the football better. Thought we were getting a great effort from our defense, and those guys were rallying around, so if we could start rushing the ball just a little bit and put everything together. So we come out, we've got the ball back in the opening up the third quarter, and we started off really slow, kind of disappointed, but this is a good play right here. Staten scrambles a little bit and checks it down to Tucker Pauley, and those two are a pretty dynamic combination. And then Reese Vernon, we recruited him also off the soccer field and out of the basketball gym, walking across the parking lot last year, and he's come out and done our place kicking and punting and just been amazing. He averaged 42 yards a punt last night, had a touchback on one of his kicks, and so he's only going to get better, and I think probably will end up getting some school paid for kicking. And then defense is out right here. You'll see Isaiah Lakin doing a great job closing everything down, and Ethan Hall coming back through running the hills. Throwing the quick screen right here to Brennan Presley, and Brennan doing a good job picking up 4 or 5 yards and getting out of bounds there. Once again, we throw the quick screen, this time to Clayton Barber, and kind of the same result. You know, we'll take, those are called run plays, and we'll take 5 yards on a run play anytime we want. Running the stretch play right here to Tucker Pauley, and Tucker doing a good job getting behind the blocking of Josh Owens and Isaiah Lakin. Then we come back right here with the edge play right here, and Tucker just showing you a great burst right here. Like I said, not a lot of plays under his belt, and he was fresh in the fourth quarter, and that was quite the difference right there. You'll see Noah West, I believe that is, in on the play right there, doing a good job of being physical, and we knock one loose right here, and I believe, it's hard to say, but I believe that's Cade Cavender that jumped on that ball and recovered that fumble. Coming back, Eric Calton Watkins right here, catching the quick screen right there, out off the edge, just a miraculous play, and then we come right back to him and throw the fade into cover 2. Doing a good job coming down with that ball with the cover 2 safety trying to take his head off. Come back here, Jenks running the toss sweep play and just nowhere to go. The defensive line is doing a good job keeping blocks off of our linebackers. Those guys running around right here. Jenks' quarterback scrambling, and once again, I believe that's Kobe and Ethan Hall in on the pressure on the sack right there. And we come back, got the football way down in our territory on the minus 10-yard line, and we know we got to grind some clock and pound it. And Tucker doing a good job running the power play, and we spit the quick wide receiver screen out to Zach Riddle right here, and he's picking up 7 or 8 yards. Coming back with the G outside zone play to the short side of the field, catch him in a blitz, and end up getting a good positive yardage right there. Once again, spit the quick screen out to Brennan Presley. Brennan doing a good job. Gosh, he ended up turning that into about a 12-yard gain. We had over 10 explosive plays on the evening. And then right there, we hand off the power play up inside behind the block of Noah West, and Tucker bounces it and does a good job getting into the end zone right there. Probably the difference in the game there. And then great pass rush right there, Ethan Hall on the sack. Great pressure on Jenks' quarterback. You'll see Zeke Upshaw right there with great pressure, and then we scramble and we hustle and we knock a ball loose, and I think that's Clayton Barber that recovers that fumble right there. So brings up the final score of 35-18, and it's great when you play Jenks and you get to take a knee on the ball at the end. Mark, let's go ahead and take a look at stats. As mentioned, final score 35-18 total offense. Bixby had 390 yards to Jenks' 282. We were 15-25 passing for 2 touchdowns. Jenks was 15-24 rushing, 199 yards to 79 yards. Turnovers, we had 1 to their 4. Big stat early in the season. Punting, we had 4 punts for 42.5. They had 4 punts for 44.8. Passing, Staten King was 15-25 for 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Rushing on the evening, Tucker Pauley had 21 carries for 175 yards. That's an 8.3 average with 3 TDs. Staten King had 7 carries for 15 yards. Braden Roller had 3 carries for 9 yards. Receiving, Brennan Presley leading receiver with 5 catches for 91 yards. Eric Cowton, two receptions for 37 yards. Zach Riddle, 4 receptions for 27 yards. Clayton Barber, 2 receptions for 16. Great night by the defense. Kobe Tillman, our player of the week, had 18 tackles, 14 solo, 5 tackles for a loss, 1 sack, 1 pass breakup. Just tremendous stats there. Ethan Hall had 9 tackles, 6 solo, 3 assists, and 2.5 sacks on the evening. Cade Cavender from the safety position was excellent. Had 10 tackles, 5 solos, 5 assists. Colin Farley, 8 tackles, 6 solo, 2 assists, and that 1 very big interception early. So some good stats on the evening, Mark.
All right, and our stats brought to you by Green Country Mitsubishi. We dare you to compare. Well, we're here as we get ready for another week of football at home, Lee Snyder Field. You've got another big team as far as classification, 7A in Arkansas, a team that you went on the road, lost to last year. Bentonville, the Tigers, they lost in Kansas City to Rockhurst, kind of a blowout win, but you got, like I said, a highly classed team coming in here. Yeah,
Bentonville's traditionally, they beat us last year. We felt like that's another game that got away from us last year. Traditionally a powerhouse over in Northwest Arkansas, 3 or 4 state championships in the last decade under their belt. Well coached, just a great program, a lot of good players, so we have our work cut out for us. But fortunately, we're getting to play at home again, and our guys love playing at home in that great environment at Lee Snyder Field.
All right, so coming off the win against Jenks, it's the Bentonville Tigers, 7 o'clock. At Spartan Stadium, Lee Snyder Field is coming up this Friday night. Coming up here on the show, we'll have our Raising Cane's Player of the Week.
Well, it's been a busy day of college football. Let's get caught up on the action. First up, Alabama. This play right here shows what eating chicken will do for you. Lots of broken tackles here. It's the chicken.
No idea what you're talking about.
Joey Galloway is here with chicken predictions.
My what?
Touchdown chicken.
Okay, are we filming right now?
Chicken, 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 chicken.
What is going on?
I don't know. Oh, that was weird.
New management.
Start your game day with the new Hash Brown Scramble Bowl from Chick-fil-A.
Your home from the very start is on a very, very tight schedule. And what that ensures is that something's being done on your home every day. Quality is what our reputation is based on. It's the quality that people expect to get when they buy a home. It's the quality they expect to get when they're making the largest purchase of their life.
Welcome back, Bixby Spartan Coaches Show, and it's time for our Now in Orthodontics Bixby Player of the Week. And after a huge win over the Jenks Trojans, We got senior linebacker Kobe Tillman back again. Kobe, it's good to have you on the show.
Yeah, of
and
course.
It's good to have a win in the books against Jenks, and monster game, 18 tackles. So overall, how do you rate the entire game for your performance?
Performance-wise, I'd give it probably on a scale from A+ to an F. I'd rank it probably an A. I had a
personal foul.
Yeah, I had one, but it was kind of iffy call. But other than that, I played a pretty good game.
Well, you're an aggressive kid, and overall, it's got to be difficult as a linebacker. You have to have a certain edge to play that position, and then obviously there's certain instances where you can't go too far. How difficult is that sometimes, maybe to walk that line?
Sometimes you have to. It's like a switch. You got to switch on, switch off. Like when I step onto the field, I switch a whole different mind on, and that's what gives me the edge over some guys.
Now, working hard, obviously, to get to a position where you've got command of the defense, physically, mentally, you put in a lot of work. Just talk about how much time you put in, and somewhat familiar with that, with how much time you put in during the off season.
Off-season wise, we have SPA, which we go from Monday through Thursday from 7 o'clock in the morning to like around 9:30. And we're getting sprints in, lifting in, and we do that the whole summer. I mean, no day off or anything. If you go every day, you become a steak eater, and you get that sticker on your helmet which says steak on it. So that just brings a whole different mindset during the off season, and all that transfers over during the season, which you can see it on the field. That's the payday. The games are the payday. So.
Well, and for youth players out there, because there are going to be some little kids that maybe they're learning how to play a linebacker or another position defensively or offensively. There's a lot of work that goes into it, and you talk about obviously what goes on with the school program, but you're also doing things on your own. I know your dad and you guys train hard.
Yeah, just getting extra work in. I mean, if kids nowadays need to start doing that, getting extra work in, so they'll be prepared for it. They'll be over prepared for what you need to do, so you're ready for the game.
Well, talk about just as a linebacker. Let's say a kid is starting out. What's the most important thing for a kid to learn just right out of the gate?
Right out of the gate, stance is a big thing. Stance and eyes. Eyes you develop over playing linebacker for a while, but your eyes and your stance need to be number one.
Okay, well, obviously you've picked up on a lot of that as you've gotten older and stronger, and you beat Jenks this year. You got Bentonville coming up. You got another stiff test in non-district play. You guys have some rigorous teams before you dip into the district.
Yeah, got Bentonville Friday night, and we're gonna try to whoop on them a little bit.
Yeah, well, it's a team obviously from the highest classification there in Arkansas. You guys went on the road last year, so you got them, and obviously beating Jenks. I don't want to overstate that, but it had been 40 years.
Yeah, time it was due. Mm-hmm. It was time for a win, and before the game I kind of got all the seniors together and was like, this is our last chance to win, and we took it in ourselves and came out with the W.
Well, congratulations on that, and obviously college coming up, and we'll find out more about that. We know you got more football to play, and you've got a great season in front of you. We appreciate you stopping by, and congratulations. Hey, you're first player of the week.
Thank you.
All right, Kobe Tillman here on the show, and folks, coming up, we're going to have our youth team of the week. Some kids, obviously, that are working to get to the position that a guy like Kobe is in, and then that'll be our Midwest Sporting Goods team of the week coming up here on the Bixby Spartan Coaches Show.
For most buyers nowadays, energy efficiency is one of the top things on their list. At Roush Coleman, it's a top priority for us, and our customers are able to live in one of the most energy efficient new homes built. As a result of that, you're going to see that those utility bills are less than anything else you're going to see with a used home or an apartment that you live in.
Our youth team of the week is second grade Bixby Red, and part of the Midwest Sporting Goods Bixby Spartan Coaches Show. We welcome in our youth football coach of the week from our team of the week, second grade Bixby Red, and none other than Gene Watkins, who joins us here in studio. Gene, good to have you here.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Okay, let's talk about overall your season just getting started, and you don't have a kid on the team. You've volunteered to come back, help with Bixby youth football once again, and What's the experience like for you?
Well, it actually gives me a lot of a different perspective because the first time I took my middle boy from 1st through 7th grade, and they were having problems finding a coach for the 1st grade, so me and my oldest son took on that team, and then we went ahead and took them the same group, well, most of the same kids up to 2nd grade. So it's kind of nice. It gives you a whole different perspective because you don't have to. You can worry about all the kids. You don't have to worry about having one of your kids on the team.
Yeah, well, I know my son Nick had played for you guys, and things changed youth football-wise. You know, from when I first got here to town, the organization has really taken off, hasn't it?
Absolutely, we're having bigger numbers than we've ever had before, and I think a lot of it is we're really trying to teach the kids fundamentals and how to tackle correctly, so we don't have injuries that so many people are worried about now.
Okay, let's talk about your team. We got some video that offensively, just kind of give us an encapsulation of what your team brings to the table.
Well, we're playing 8-man, so there's not a lot of issues. But we have a new kid by the name of he's our quarterback. His name's Tanner Willis. He has a lot of speed. He was a former soccer player, so he's using that speed in football. And we're going to show a play where he goes around the end and gets a pretty good gain. Yeah,
8-man speed kills, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Okay, now defensively, I imagine you use the same thing. You get a lot of speed.
Yes, we have both. In youth football, they play both ways. They play at least 2 quarters, and so we have a young kid by the name of Henry Harper, who's our middle linebacker, and he's really come around. He played for me last year, and then this year he's really shown that he can really, you'll see a good form tackle that he has on this play.
So let's talk about tackling in general and the new techniques that people are teaching. Well, how important is it?
Oh, it's one of the biggest things. So many times when kids tackle on, they bend their head down, or if they're not, we teach them not to go head-to-head contact, and we go through a lot of drills, and we do the same drills that I've been doing for years, but we just make sure we emphasize it more in the 1st grade.
Well, in the organization, I mean, really all the way down, it's being taught, isn't it?
Correct. It's sponsored by USA Football. They have a clinic. It's about a 3-hour course that all these coaches are going through and teach them different first aid tips and tackling tips and drills that you can do to make your kids better.
Well, I know obviously you enjoy being a part of it, and this is going to be an interesting year for you. Who you got coming up?
This week we play Collinsville at Collinsville, and so this time it gives us a chance to hopefully put a W on the board. But the main thing is that these kids enjoy and come back. If our kids come back and stay in the program, then we're successful in youth football.
All right, outstanding. Well, listen, we appreciate you stopping by, and good luck all season long.
All right, appreciate you.
All right, Gene Watkins and
Thanks.
2nd grade Bixby Red, the youth football team of the week here on the Midwest Sporting Goods Bixby Spartan Coaches Show. Now, we'll see you next week here on the show. We'll be talking about this upcoming game. Don't forget, Friday night, 7 o'clock, the Bentonville Tigers coming off a big loss to Rockhurst in Kansas City. They'll be at Lee Snyder Field, so we'll look forward to that on Friday night. The Bixby Football Coaches Show was brought to you by Roush Coleman Homes, improving quality of life, one home at a time. Chick-fil-A, eat more chicken. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers, one love for the game. Midwest Sporting Goods, put some Midwest best on you. Nowlin Orthodontics, live life smiling. Hot Coffee Design, find us at hotcoffeedesign.com. Green Country Mitsubishi, we dare you to compare. Country Financial, even the biggest goals start with simple steps. Advanced Plastics, building partnerships through willingness, versatility, and knowledge. Communication Federal Credit Union, connecting with you. Car Country by Nelson, where you will be treated like a superstar. Western Sun Federal Credit Union. Billings Construction Group, our service is unequaled. And by TTCU, the credit union.